So welcome, beautiful light being, to Krystalline Ascension's Divine Light Illuminators. I'm Alicia Lucas Hall, and I'll be co-facilitating the sharings with Eva Lucas. Eva and I are co-creatrixes of Krystalline Ascension and known as evolution guides to assist, support, and empower souls and starseeds to embody their true divine essence, ascension journey, and the evolution of unity consciousness to co-create our heaven on earth. We are here to connect you with fellow Star Brothers and Sisters who are sharing their divine light and essence. We'll be hearing about who they are, their mission, purpose, and vision, and what their divine offerings are to you and all of humanity. Today, we welcome Julia Magnay, who is a family enrichment coach and founder of Live Enriched. Through she helps parents becoming inspiring role models for their children, increase the connection, fun, and growth in their family, and empower children by giving them the tools and knowledge to help them create abundant lives. Julia has 2 daughters who she home educates. She has been fascinated by and passionate about education that helps us live a fulfilled life for over 20 years. She wanted to introduce this to her own children at a very young age and is passionate about sharing it with children around the world and helping other conscious parents on their family's journey of growth and adventure. Welcome, Julia.
Thank you. Julia. Thank you so much for having me.
So, welcome, Julia. It's wonderful to have you here. Would you like to share with us your journey in becoming a family enrichment coach and what that means to you and your listeners?
Yeah, of course, I would love to. Well, yeah, my journey is quite long and winding, really. I've had many backgrounds. I think many of us do, don't we? We have all these different things that we go through. So from a work point of view, I've been an actress, I've run a theatre company, I did a maths degree, I went to drama school, which just seems so different, doesn't it? I did financial advising and I've been coaching, so in lots of different ways. But throughout all of that, one of my favorite things was personal development. I was really blessed to be introduced to it when I was about 12, I think it was. I did my first board breaking and then did sort of fire walking and things like that. So that was my introduction to learning a bit more about mindset and how we can use our mindset and to create things in our lives, and how a lot about health as well. I learned loads about health and the body and energy, and that was obviously just the start because there's so much to learn and it's a constant journey. But I felt like that was the biggest thing in my life that helped my life. All the other education I did through school and university, it didn't seem to produce as much in my life or as much that's of importance as all the stuff that helped me with my relationships, with my confidence, with learning about money and business. So I've really always been really passionate about learning and self-development. And when I guess even before I became a parent, I just felt how important it was for children to know this. And I remember having this vision, and I only remember this later, of this beautiful home, sort of house where there would be children learning and families connecting. And it wasn't until, and I had this when I was a kid, and then it wasn't until later when I launched Live Enriched that I thought, oh, I had that when I was a child, that I wanted to create this community and bring together families who wanted that in their family. So when I started Live Enriched, it was about enriching everyone's lives. I was just, anyone, I'll enrich your life. And it's really over the last year or so that kind of organically I've sort of niched, I guess, but come to realize that who I love working with is families. So I think it's so important for children to have this knowledge, and what, if you're a parent, the thing you most want, I think, is to have this amazing family life. You've got your children for that short time, you want to have their connection, you want to have the love. So it was about that, and so the lovely family life there, and it was also about the growth as a family, so for the children but also for the parents, so that they could be those role models and they could go on that journey all together. So that's how it all came about in a roundabout way.
That's beautiful. I love your vision. That's very similar to my vision I had as a child and why I love connecting with the family. But you are enriching families' lives that will carry forward, enrich other families' lives, as the children will be able to carry this connection forward, which is so important in this world right now.
Definitely, and part of it is that ripple effect, isn't it? I just think that's so important. You know, you impact one person's life, and then you don't know how far that will reach. You know that, and especially as a child, you know, you can what one kind word do compared to one mean word,
Right.
and you know, you think, what will happen with this tiny little being? What will they become, and where will that what they become radiate out to? And I just love the idea of helping so many children follow their passions and their dreams, because so many of us are end up doing things we don't love, and I certainly did, because it felt like that was the route. I was seen as intelligent, and I would go through, and I would go to university, and I would get the job that used my math skills and all that sort of stuff. But luckily I came into this personal development and realized actually that's not what my passion is, and so that's part of it, is being able to show children that they can do that. And people are so often worried about the money, but I need this to pay, I need this is what will be a good job, this will be a job that pays. And actually that's such a mindset thing. So I teach a lot on money mindset and allowing people to realize that that's not the way. Not getting a good job is not what it's all about. There's so many other ways that you can grow your wealth to be able to support what you love doing.
Yes, that inner happiness, striving for the inner happiness. Yeah.
Absolutely, that psychic wealth, you know, it's not just the money in the bank. And obviously that's not something that I'm negative against, because we want to be rewarded and have that abundance in every way. But I've seen so many people as a financial advisor, you know, I've seen a lot of people on their wealth journeys, and some people are very, very wealthy and yet not happy.
Right.
And so it's all as you know, it's all the energy, and yet it's not one over the other. It's about balance. Finding it's the balance, and it's what's most important, isn't it, as well? So
yes, for sure. Beautiful. All right. So would you like to share about your divine offerings and how parents and families can work with you?
Yeah, I would love to. So I work one-to-one with parents, and I also offer group coaching programs, which is great to bring together more of a community. And equally, the one-to-one is great because you can dive really deep into someone's particular concerns or challenges. So we do both of that, and really where we go on a journey where the people, however they're working with me, and it really depends where they're starting. So it might be that they've got some challenges in their family, and we really want to start bringing in that greater connection and bringing in the love and the joy, or it might be around the foods and the health and that sort of thing. So there might be something that we're specifically working on, and that's often where we start, to then bring around this space and this environment which allows everyone to thrive. And then after that, there's a continuation, if they wish to continue, to really be able to guide that family to be able to grow in the areas they want to grow. So it might be that they have the area of health that they really want to, health and their energy, or it might be their wealth and their abundance, or confidence, or mindset, or their connection to nature, or maybe tapping into their passions and their genius, whether it's for them or the children or for everyone. So there's that sort of the next part of the journey. So we start with it, getting the foundations in place, and then taking them on that growth journey. And in the future, I'll also be offering enriched trips, which will be group trips with families coming together and having amazing adventures in different places around the world, and places that will support the family growth. And then also all the participants will be able to experience even more of what life has to offer. They'll see amazing sights. They will get to do this all as a family, and really get to have that adventure and that excitement as well, and create amazing memories, and also bringing together a community. So these people that all are conscious families. They want to support and inspire each other, and that brings everyone together. So that's the offering to start, and then also where their journey can take them, and what I'll be offering in the future as well.
That's beautiful. I love the vision of the future as well. I mean, even though the foundational is very important when you're establishing that first off, but definitely, hopefully in the future, we'll be able to connect as families and travel with you. And that would be so wonderful.
That's the final vision, and it's about those bits in place first, and then going through there. But it depends where people are on that journey of where they want to come in, really.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that sounds exciting, and I hope grandparents will be invited into that group as well.
Grandmas are very important.
Yes. Just listening to you, Julia, it really gave me chills of all your memories and all your shares, and you could just feel the authenticity inside of you and everything, and you light up when you talk about this. And it's just so beautiful. So my question to you is, what is your favorite coaching piece that parents' eyes light up with sparkles and they say, yep, I'm doing this, as what can be really more rewarding than experiencing the connection within the family home?
It's the connection, isn't it? It's that connection. I've got something that I share with people, and it's so simple, and I suppose there's a couple of things, but one of them is something we call special time. So it's so important for each child to have one-on-one time with a parent. And I came across this when I had my second daughter. So my first daughter had all my attention, as the first child does. And we had such a close bond. And then she was all excited about baby 2 arriving. And then baby 2 arrived, and she wasn't quite so excited because suddenly Aria had a lot of mummy time. And this was where I realized that, my next level of parenting needed to step up. And one of the ways we did that was by bringing in special time. And it's something that we do every single day. Both me and my husband will do it with each child. And about 20 minutes, but it could be 10 minutes, depending on how many children you have to fit in. It's about that one-on-one time. And we always label it, so it's not, I did spend 10 minutes with them, because they won't have had that flagged up. So we set a time, we're like, it's special time, and they're so excited about it. It's special time now. We set the timer, and it's whatever they want to do, within reason. But it's pretty much we do what they want to do, and whether it's reading books or it's going out and jumping in puzzles, whatever it is, for that child to feel like this is my time with mummy, or this is my time with daddy. And it makes such a big difference. It sounds so simple, but when my clients bring that in, it's often one of the first things I suggest if they're having trouble with someone and there's not that connection. When they bring that in, it fills up the child's love tank, even those short amounts of time, as long as it's been done regularly, as long as it's something that they know is going to come. So that's one of my favorite, really simple ones to bring in each day.
Yes, that's really great. We have been doing that, not so much this year because they're all at home with us and we divide it by 4, but I do feel that it makes a huge impact and a huge difference in how they connect with you and how they feel after they have that special time with you. So it is very important. We've actually, I don't know if you've tried or seen the movie Yes Day.
I haven't, but I have. Yeah, I know the idea of it. Have you done a Yes Day?
We have done our first Yes Day.
Okay, how did it go?
It was really great. It was from start to finish. They had a limit of money, but at the same time, it was just allowing them to decide and plan and on the ways they wanted to connect with us as a group and as a family. But I felt that was very similar to your special time, but just working as a group and as a family, jumping on the trampoline, which I don't do so well, going out to the park, doing whatever. But it was a fun-filled day and they actually loved it. So we've decided to create that Yes Day for them as a family for at the end of every month, just as a family connection. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. We have been talking about doing one actually, and then there's part of me going, what are they going to ask? But I talk about it to other people, and then I go, oh, do I really want to do that? But I think because some of my youngest is only 3, and I'm like, wow, she's going to want to do stuff that is crazy, because when they ask for things for Christmas, you expect your children to ask for something that you can actually go and buy, and mine want to do have a jetpack and things that allow them to walk up walls, and the sort of you kind of go, okay, and I want special powers that will allow me to do this. I'm like, okay, so that's the sort of children I have. I'm like, right, we've got some work to do on that. I can't just go and buy that. But yeah, I think maybe you have inspired me as well to actually do a yes day and see what comes up.
Definitely, yes, I definitely resonate with that. I remember when my son asked for teleportation skills.
Yes.
So little stuff like that. So it's very interesting on how we can encourage those different kind of conscious souls.
Yes. You see everyone else saying, oh, my daughter's asked for this toy. And you're like, yeah, but that's easier than mine.
Imagination has to come in, right?
Absolutely. I love it. I absolutely love it. And she's always like, well, I'm going to manifest this. And I'm like, get on you. My other part is going, yes, good. You manifest that, darling. So it will happen at some point.
Yeah. I love how it's evolving. Like, from when I was when I had my parents, and then when I had my children, we didn't have beautiful people like you, like to give us these kind of imaginations and tips and tools. And I follow probably more of the way my mother and my father did things and added my own twist. But now it's just become so many opportunities and different choices and decisions you can make with your children that really impacts your children and yourself as well, because you become so aware of your child and how you can be the best parent for them. And you can see them growing. And even at 3 years old, she's saying she's manifesting. Boom. Like, we didn't learn that till what? Like me, my 4th, 5th decade is when it came into.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love it. You hear them say things and you're like, I didn't even know what that word meant when I was a child, and actually my development, although I started personal development very young, more of the kind of spiritual side is pretty recent for me, really. So but before kind of children, so they've been brought into that, they come and I'm going to stroke your aura, mummy, and stuff. And yeah, I was not brought up with that at all. And my mum thinks it's when I told her about meditating, which obviously is actually pretty mainstream, she's like, okay, meditating is quite out there. So it's quite interesting how, as you say, it evolves, but there's so much out there that we can delve into and find, and also I just think it's often so much about just following your own intuition, isn't it, and allowing that and trusting in it from a parent, because you could read so much about parenting, and so much of it is maybe not how I would want to parent, and you can say, I go and read this, and whoa, I'm not going to do that with my child. And it's sometimes I think people feel like they want to do it right, but they don't trust their own intuition. And so a lot of what I do is helping people to find how they do them. And with the home education, we do ours, and people say, how are you doing it? And you're like, what, it's kind of a mix of all this stuff, because we don't follow one certain thing. And I think it's the same whether it's with education or with parenting. It's finding how you do you, isn't it? Because you've got all these different elements to come in with everyone and everyone's personalities.
Exactly. There's no one book that fits every child. No. Because then everybody would just be perfect and living this fantasy life, right? Because there's just no book that suits every one child. So,
and the other thing is about not feeling like you need to be perfect. And I remember having this, and I remember again when my second daughter came along, and I remember Elodie's her behavior did really change, and I remember it's so vivid that it's me sort of snapping at her one time in a car park, and then thinking, oh no, that's not the mum I want I see other mums doing that, and I want to be able to help, and that's what I just did that. And then talking to a friend who thankfully is amazing, and talking through it with her and saying, you're not supposed to be, you don't want to be a perfect mum, because how much are they've got to live, they'd have to live up to that. No one wants a perfect parent, because that's too much to live up to. And it's like, okay, great, you show that you have your faults, and you're not always going to make the right choice, and you can apologize and say, mummy didn't do that right. So that's another part of, people often come and they like, oh, I'm doing it wrong and I'm gonna fail my child or whatever it is. And it's, we're all human, and we're definitely imperfect, and yet if we're conscious and we're doing our best, then that's all we can ask for, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
Okay.
So thank you so much for connecting here with us today and sharing your light, your divine gifts, and stepping into leadership role as a conscious, connected family coach. From watching you over the last couple months and your posts with your family, you are someone who I really admire very much for acknowledging children, keeping them in the circle of oneness in our hearts rather than pushing them aside. We are beginning to, we do see that in some homes, and we are very thankful to have connected with you. Are there any final words that you would like to share?
Really, just a massive gratitude to you, really, for allowing me to come and chat about what I'm passionate about, and just really to remind people to check in with their intuition and their guidance, and if they want to be guided by someone, find someone that they really resonate with, because there's so much information out there, and we have so much wisdom inside us, and sometimes it's great to have someone to guide you on that, and just find someone that you really resonate with for that. So yeah, just dig deep into what's right for you, for each parent out there.
Yes, thank you.
Great. We will be leaving all of Julia's details, her Facebook group, and her email in the description for those of you desiring to connect with her further. We are all welcoming all conscious souls and starseeds who are embodying their divine essence and ascension journey to gather with us in our Krystalline Ascension global community, which is a private network. And you can find us at krystallineascension.mn.co, or if you're a divine light illuminator, we welcome you to email us at info@krystallineascension.com to book a light sharing chat with Eva and I to share your divine light and essence with humanity. Until then, love is light.
Thank you so much, Julia.
Thank you so much. Thank you.